Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Geiger Counter. And today we're here with a guest, Arth Fenyw, who's going to be talking to us about the primal paradigm. She's going to be talking about the military, breastfeeding, and we're going to talk about nutrition in our society today that relates to the Paleolithic European paradigm.
Hey! Thanks for getting me on the air on your podcast.
Yeah, cheers.
Oh.
It's really good.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, so, hi. I'm Arth Fenyw. And, I was just gonna talk about basic nutrition from MREs, stuff that's being sold in the colder climates, more on the scale of 5,000 calories per pack type of thing.
Okay.
And then how it affects soldiers as well as just in general nutrition in colder climates, how it affects people, how it changes their bodies, and then furthermore we can talk about breastfeeding and how babies actually get born in other conditions than in like a vegan condition or an all meat eating condition. Yeah, so
cool.
Yeah,
that's gonna be exciting. So what have you found out?
Well, basically I was just thinking the other day, because I have some family that is in the army and they have had MREs before, but they're not as calorie efficient as the ones that in the north, because we're in Canada. It's it's a nice climate. There's not like minus 35 degrees. Well, if you go in the north, it's really cold. But up in like Finland and in Sweden and in Norway, they do have to take that calorie count, and it's very important because of the minus 25, minus 30 degrees that they have sometimes in, January and February. So
yeah, because your body needs the extra calories to burn, like just to stay warm.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I was thinking to myself, maybe it doesn't exist a person that is vegetarian or vegan in the army, because you do need all of that energy, those calories, the cholesterol and all that vitamin D that's so important in like meat and meat products, that they sell these and they're so expensive. And people actually, I went on sites the other day, websites that actually sell these MREs, and they were so expensive, ranging to about $25 to $35 an MRE, and those are like 24-hour rations, so they don't last as long.
Yeah, but
they're filled with calories. Like it's amazing,
nutrient dense.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's mostly meat products. So to name a few, there's chicken, beef, sausage, seafood, turkey, and the list just goes on and on.
Nice.
And it's they're good sources of healthy animal fats that give you the enzymes and all that nutrition that you need to burn the fat in a healthy way. Because if you're gonna eat things that are made in factories and that are not like chemically made, your body's not going to react the same way. It's going to take a longer time or a faster time to like burn through it. So maybe that's why they go for the more calorie dense, more meat, more that kind of stuff. So yeah, I found it really interesting that in the colder climates they went for a more calorie dense MREs. And then I started thinking, maybe that's why we're very different from people who live in hotter climates. Like if you go to the north, people are more calm, more reflective on life, more, I don't know how to say it, they're more poised, like
self-control,
yeah, exactly.
high self-control.
Yeah. And then I started to think maybe it's because of our dietary, how we live our life and how we eat. Like it does change our hormones and the way we think as well.
Definitely.
Because we eat, like, you know, the proverb, we are what we eat type of thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought that was a good thing. And then I was thinking it does make a difference because, you know, in Japan they're very they're a meat eating a country, and they
Seafood.
are very calm, and like the Japanese, you hear a lot of their calmness and the way that they reflect on life is more of a spiritual kind of way.
Yeah.
And then it just made sense because like the white, you know, American, the white Canadian, the white northern people are just very relaxed kind of people. Unless you change their diets.
Yeah, and then, definitely. Yeah, then you get the vegans, right?
Yeah.
And you can tell from just hanging around with vegans that there's something unnerving about them.
Yeah.
They seem agitated and irritated. And there's a misconception about testosterone that I've been informed about, and it's that low testosterone is actually what's causing irritable behavior, you know, to lash out and things like that. A lot of people think that that's a sign of high testosterone, and that's why a lot of like feminists say like, oh, high testosterone men are dangerous, they're rapists and things, but it's not. The numbers aren't adding up. Actually, high testosterone men are more controlled. They're more aware of their surroundings, but they're less affected by their surroundings. Like, if there would be something happening, they wouldn't panic. They would just be like, okay, there's a fire. I need to get my wife and children out. And they'll do it very calmly, and that's definitely a sign of healthy family life, healthy behavior, but also clearly healthy nutrition.
Yeah. Because if you eat crap every day, you are a crappy person.
Walking garbage can.
Yeah. And doesn't mean that like you don't necessarily look crappy. Because there's like this new thing. There's like vegan powerlifters, right?
Like vegan gains.
Yes.
Oh, that guy.
And then I heard that like basically
his body looks wrong.
I know, but the thing is they're taking all these proteins from, you know, chemically made proteins. It's just like powder, basically.
Yeah, they're drug addicts.
Yeah, they are. They actually are.
Yeah.
And then they get all buffed up, but like what's inside those muscles? It's poison. It's actually poison. It's not even good for your body.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's going to happen when all these muscles just, you know, atrophy and you lose... Like, of course you're going to lose that body mass. What's going to happen to all that poison that's in your muscles? Is it going to go in your bones? Is it going to go in your
I think you're going to shit it out. Like, I've definitely heard of that happening, like detoxes where people, they think they're healthy.
Well, that's why they have so many detoxes. These people need to get all that.
Yeah, that's the irony of the detox, because it's like they think they're getting chemicals out of their body, but in reality they're putting it in their bodies. And yes, it does come out, but that's because that's your diet. Your diet is chemicals. Well, I mean, and saying everything is chemical, but it's plant matter that you can't digest, and and plant oils that are not really compatible with your body, and they just stock up, and they're actually just water weight. That's the real weight, like water weight. It's plant oils and plant fats that we're not supposed to be eating. Like, how is that even natural? How do you even get oil out of a vegetable? Is that even... I don't even understand how to make vegetable oil. Like, there's no... That process is so unnatural, and that's why that's how you get all those people who are just grossly fat, and like, you know, they're
because
cellulite.
Their bodies don't know what to do with it, so
they just stock up, and they think like, oh, this is going to be good for famine times, but then come famine times, you're shitting out your fat, and you're having a horrible time because you can't actually burn. It's like
these people are definitely going to get sick when it comes to like the survival, the time that everything's gonna go down, and then they're not gonna have their vegan dinners. They're gonna just get sick and die.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
Definitely.
And I don't know why they. Well, of course, they want us to do that to ourselves, because that's the way that
Yeah, and like there's so much wrong with veganism. I guess we're gonna do a mini vegan segment, but there's so much wrong with it. The whole fact that that it causes sterility. Raw vegan women lose their periods and they can't have children.
They can't have children.
So they don't even need to be like.
Well, they can't even give birth anymore because their bones are just.
Oh, they're
coming apart.
Brittle. Yeah, they have arthritis.
Yeah, at a very young age, and their mouths, everything just changes because you're drinking liquids all the time.
Yeah, and no animal fat that keeps like your ligaments strong and your everything together. Like you need animal fat for that.
It's just so sad.
It is like you actually know someone.
Yes,
close
I do
to
know
you
someone. Yeah,
who has arthritis and she's 32.
She's 32. Yeah. It's really sad.
That's insane. That's
really sad.
It's happening to people that we know. It's not just like word of mouth here anymore. It's like sometimes
because of one time deal that she told herself, I'm never gonna eat meat again.
Yeah, because she saw like weird empathy propaganda about animals. Like animals are human too.
But she hasn't. The thing is, she saw slaughterhouses, right? And those are wrong.
Yeah, they're super gross.
Yeah, like. I know that those are wrong. This is the shittiest life that you can give an animal.
Yeah.
It's like roaming on a small patch of land.
Like inside
not even live.
Like they're barely moving. Yeah.
And then they just slaughter them because they're the fat at the level of fat that they want them to be.
Yeah.
And it's not even good meat. Because they're just grazing on chemically enriched grass or
worse. Soy.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably a lot. I think a lot of animals eat soy these days.
Yeah, so that is wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't think she's ever witnessed someone hunting, or she has ever hunted in her life before.
Yeah.
And I think that would change her perspective on
I think so as well.
on animal meat. Because then she wouldn't see it as much as a waste.
Mm-hmm.
As, because then she would see, oh, okay, we actually use every bone, all of the
skin.
The skin, we use it to make, the animal hides. People use everything. They use the antlers, they use...
Yeah. Even if it is ritualistic purposes,
but it's
bones are
it's
really
not the
sacred.
same. It's not the same. There's a spiritual, like a life-changing. It's a life-changing experience. I've had that at a very young age, so I'm very.
What happened?
We trapped a rabbit. It was a wild rabbit, and my dad skinned it right in front of me. I was like 4 years old, and I was so intrigued by it, and it was so beautiful. And since then, I've never been disgusted by, killing an animal or, it's just, I think that people don't get that as much, today, so they think that everything's wrong and everything's, but these people that turn vegan are from cities.
Yeah,
they have never lived in
the real world.
The real world. We're talking about, outside in the farmlands where you actually have to work to gain the money and the food that you make.
You wouldn't be able to be on a vegan diet very long as a farmer who actually works, not just like a mechanical.
And you would feel so tired all the
time.
Yeah,
exactly. You would just hate your diet so badly in the first few days that you'd be like, screw this.
I'm not being a farmer anymore.
Yeah, well, exactly. You have to do your work anyway, so you're going to be like, hey, and your body's going to crave the meat, I'm sure a lot of vegans actually crave meat and want meat really badly.
A lot of vegans have been caught eating meat.
Yeah.
In restaurants.
Well,
people take pictures of them.
Yeah. Well, it's clearly a lot of these vegan people on YouTube are not actually vegan, and you can tell because they actually
pushing the
Yeah, they push
That's
the
what-
agenda, and they try to get, like, it's a virtue signal these days. Like, being a vegan actually gets you brownie points as being, like, some better human than meat eaters, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, but it's really this, I think, this part about, you know, like, people think that meat is murder. Like, you're murdering an animal. It's wrong. Like people think that they would never be able to do that because they see themselves doing it. They imagine themselves killing an animal, and they imagine themselves being like, "What have I done?" and weeping in front of the animal and stuff. But that's not how you would actually react.
But maybe these people can't kill animals. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, like, well, I mean,
because there's a new breed of people that have come out of, you know, the recent years. And I think that these people couldn't survive out there.
No.
They just couldn't.
No, they wouldn't.
So maybe they can't kill animals.
Yeah.
They just can't.
Yeah.
And that's like the new breed of people. We're more of the ancestral type of person.
Yeah.
But they're
Primal.
more of the, like, I don't know how to say it. It's just, yeah, maybe they've just never... Maybe they never thought about it. Like, you know what I mean? They never thought about, like, you know, killing a chicken to eat it.
No.
And maybe it's part of the fact that they've never seen it before.
Yeah.
Or they've never heard about it.
Yeah.
And then they've always seen the chicken in a box. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they're like, where does it come from? And then they look at all these videos where they're chopping chicken heads off in
in a
slaughterhouses, horrible way.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, yeah, of course, dipshit, that's what you're gonna get. Because it's mass-produced chickens.
Yeah.
It's not the chicken that runs in your backyard.
No, and that's what's really interesting is that people claim, like, yeah, we live in the first world. Look, we can have so much meat. You know, meat is a sign of first world kind of thing. Like relatively good meat to eat. However, we can't eat any of the meat raw. We can't eat any of our meat. Oh, like,
it's disgusting.
There's only like a couple places in the city that we live in that actually have high quality enough meat that you can eat raw.
It's so expensive.
And it's very expensive to eat it. And
actually, farms cannot sell like raw milk here in Quebec. It's
not legally.
Not legally, yeah.
Because you can get some illegally.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, we do. Because raw milk is amazing. Makes you feel like a goddess. And but the raw meat, I mean, you can eat raw. At the place that we're talking about, you can eat the muscle. You can buy it and eat the muscle, just like normal
even
steak.
Raw eggs. You have to
raw
be careful.
eggs, you have to be careful. I do it. I'm not, because
Yeah.
I heard that the salmonella. First of all, we have 4 to 7% salmonella in our guts already, and so the point is that if you have good gut flora, you shouldn't worry too much, because even if there is salmonella on that egg that you're going to eat, your other bacteria is going to kill it off. Like, it's gonna naturally select out of your body.
It's good bacteria.
Yeah, because everything else is balanced. But the problem is that a lot of people have horrible bacterial flora. So, like, if you're eating a lot of oats or a lot of grains all the time, a lot of raw vegetable,
you're just gonna get sick.
That
basically.
fiber is killing, like, taking all the bacteria out of your colon, and you will have extremely unbalanced bacterial flora. So you're gonna feel digestion, like bad digestion. And
that's how
you get salmonella. Is that
like
you
6 months? Yeah.
You had that for 6 months?
Oh yeah, I was on the vegan thing for a bit.
Yeah, you did it, and it did you feel the digestion, like horrible digestion?
Yeah.
No, no kidding.
I was like, oh yeah, it's normal going to the bathroom four times a day.
Oh my god.
Because like my friends were like, oh yeah, that's normal, because like everybody does.
Everybody's a vegan.
Yeah. And I was like, back here, I'm like, no way, I can't do this anymore.
No, and then you saw, like, you know, the people who speak up about veganism being like a horrible thing, and they expose vegans, and they expose vegan babies dying.
That's horrible.
I know. It's really.
It's actually against the law now to make your cat's diet vegan.
It's against the law to make your cats vegan, but not your own children.
I know, right? They should put a law against...
Screw cats.
I know. But like even Joe Rogan was like doing a t-shirt that says vegan cat with a face of a cat with dead eyes on it,
oh
like
my
X's, and he has a shirt that says vegan cat.
That's actually funny.
Yeah.
That's actually funny. Awesome.
But to come back to the thing about Nordic countries, so I was thinking as well, I developed a theory that because we have like less hours of sunlight, basically we do have to get this diet for vitamin E, C, D, all that stuff. And that's pretty much everything that you get from, if you look at Aboriginals, like Inuits, right, in Canada, they eat a lot of brain during the winter time. And that's a good source of vitamin D. It's like the only source of vitamin D that you can get. Either that or eyes.
Yeah, eyes. I heard eyes, yeah. The babies, they can eat the vitreous humor in the eye. They can just pop them open and they can just suck it out. Yeah. So that's amazing.
And like bone marrow, brain, just animal fats in general.
Yeah.
But because our society is just like changing everything to making us slaves, basically, we're not, we can't get to those products. It's not at our reach of hand. Like we can't even reach it. It's kind of impossible because those products aren't even sold on the market. So either you have to know someone that hunts, or you have to know a butcher that will give you those pieces that you need. Brain, that no one sells brain.
Yeah. I've seen brain at an Arab market.
Yeah.
They're selling like sheep's brain.
Yeah, but you don't know where it comes from.
It's true. You have no idea. Arab market.
You have to know either the butcher or the hunter. Yeah. So that's... And hunting is now a luxury because not a lot of people do it. It's expensive.
It is expensive.
But the thing is, like, you get a lot of gear, you spend a lot of money on it, but in the end, it'll just give you all that meat, that good meat that you need. And like that's what people don't understand is like, yeah, you can spend the money on it and train for it, and then you'll see the benefits from it because you'll get all that meat, all those good cuts that you're going to be able to feed your family, all the bones,
even
everything.
the skin, if the skin is really useful.
So it's just and then even here where we live, it's kind of taboo to be a hunter.
Really?
Would that be something? Or well, in Toronto it was.
In Toronto? Not over here.
Not over here. A lot of people do it, right?
A lot of people hunt, and I've never really heard anyone say like you hunt, because I think a lot of people they really don't like the slaughterhouses and stuff like that. But then if you talk about hunting, it's less bad. However, the vegans, they're the ones who are like kind of crazy about it, and they're like, oh well.
But there's less vegans here though.
No.
Really?
You're right. No, there's less vegans.
Yeah.
Vegetarians more, and people are afraid of meat. They think that red meat is bad for you.
It's so good for you.
It's extremely good for you, and they're like, oh, people eat too much red meat. I've heard this before, and it's like definite propaganda. I've seen it online.
Like cancer? It'll give you cancer or something like that? They say? Like gut cancer if you eat too much red meat?
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
How does that make any sense?
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense. Like, literally, if you have bad bacterial flora, the way to cure it is to eat high meat.
High meat.
Yeah, which is made from red meat that's been exposed to the sun for like months. So that doesn't make sense at all. That cancer is definitely caused by fiber and things that you can't digest.
Yeah.
Cancer is actually trying to help you. That's the thing about cancer, is that it's like, it's your body that's coming in and being like, I'm gonna try to help you, and then it's like it goes out of control because it can't be helped.
But like people just forget that humans are just like a living, breathing organ, and that it changes itself to the diet or the challenges, the environment that it is in. So of course, like I saw a video where they were talking about the way that a person's jaw changed just because they started to eat meat again. And the jaw actually changed. The bone structure changed.
Like epigenetically, like while they were alive.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So our body is a living, breathing organ, and we tend to forget about that.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, the way that globalism is trying to like change us, right? They're like we're plasticine, kind of like modeling clay, you know, like, oh, you're gonna eat all that crap, so you're gonna be like this and like that, and you know, thin jaw, no teeth.
No teeth.
Basically,
veganism literally rots your teeth away.
Oh yeah, it does, yeah. And then, you know, you pay for more dental work, you pay for more nutrition, pharmaceutical companies benefit.
Yeah. So it's either
all the companies are benefiting from vegans, really.
Oh gosh, yeah, big pharma, basically.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
And like if you're in a capitalistic minded place, then you're gonna pay more. Like, you're going to pay yourself, but if you're in a more communist country, like here in Canada, you're going to be told, like, oh, well, you know, dental should be free for everyone, and everyone's going to have bad teeth. So then, you know, people are going to vote for that, and then you're going to have, like, more than 50% of your pay taken away from you.
Yeah.
So that the person who's a stupid vegan can have his free dental, and you're a carnivore, and you barely need to go to the dentist. Because you don't eat that much sugar. Yeah. And
you barely eat any fruit, you barely eat any vegetables.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you barely need to go to the dentist.
Exactly. No. I mean, pure carnivores who eat just raw animal product, like raw eggs, raw milk, raw meat, raw organ,
raw blood,
blood, they don't need at all to go to the dentist. Their teeth are fine. They even say don't brush your teeth because the bacteria that's on your teeth that people say cause gingivitis actually just cleanses your teeth.
Actually, I went to a dentist in Toronto. He said don't even brush your teeth once a day. Very lightly.
Use a soft toothbrush.
Soft toothbrush for a baby, and brush it very lightly, and you'll barely come to the dentist again.
Wow. And what about flossing?
Flossing, yeah, they say flossing.
Flossing's important,
Yeah. But that's been like that for many years. People, even in 1,000 years ago, flossed their teeth. So.
Really? Yeah. They found archaeological finds of flosses?
Well, and then they would eat apples after eating their suppers or something like that.
And the apple would get it out?
The acid from the apple would get everything off the teeth, clean the bacteria or everything in the mouth, and then it would actually, the skin on the apple would make you pick your teeth.
Yeah, okay.
So they would pick those out and then floss at the same time.
Yeah, I see. And the apples back then were clearly not man-made like today. They didn't have as much sugar in them. They were probably a lot more bitter.
Yeah,
more
exactly.
Acid, but and then acid is gotten rid of by rinsing your mouth with water. Usually, you can't get sugar off, but you can get the acid out.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, But and then
the breastfeeding.
Well, so breastfeeding. I made a little research on which was very interesting about midwifery in colder climate countries versus the more mid-European kind of countries. And surprisingly, well, not really. I mean, it's more of a heathen background, right? Those countries are more from decades ago. They were more heathen. So Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Germany scored. Oh, and Iceland, scored the highest in midwifery, with Norway and Denmark with the most. I think it was 17 and 16 midwives per 1,000 people that live there. So that's a lot.
Good. Yeah.
And then I looked at more Abrahamic styled countries with Abrahamic religions, such as Poland, the UK, Estonia, Russia, Lithuania, Canada, is one of those,
Yeah, of course.
obviously. They scored really bad. The worst was Poland and Russia, with 5 and 4 in Russia. 4 midwives per 1,000 people.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
Yeah.
So they all go to the hospital.
Yeah.
For obstetrics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means that if you do have a background that's more of a Celtic, heathen, more pagan background, you're more likely to go to a midwife than in countries where it's, very religious, either Catholic, Orthodox. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then you go to hospitals more likely.
There's a lot of fear-mongering about the midwives. I was fear-mongered for my first child a lot. Like, they said, like, oh, like, they lose babies because they can't do C-sections and things like that. And despite the fact that the hospital is super close by and they can definitely get you there in an ambulance, it's, like, not enough, They just say, like, there's one complication a year and the baby dies, and that means that nobody should go, because...
Yeah.
So everyone should go to the hospital, and at the hospital, they pressure you to take the freezing...
The
epidural.
Epidural,
Yeah, they pressure you to take it a lot.
Yeah.
They pressure you to take heroin to calm you down because you're in labor.
But
they
that's
don't
all
want
going to the baby as well.
Well, that's it, exactly. A lot of babies who have had heroin, the mother had the heroin and the epidural as well, they come out confused and they don't know, like, their first moments of life,
course, yeah.
which should be all completely natural, and the mother should have the natural hormones that make you bond with your child right away.
Yeah.
The baby should have, no drugs at all and should come out and already seek the breast and already know, like, smells and can feel the mother and knows, like, knows code of, like, to...
Well, they sense it.
Yeah, to, like, have the proper reaction.
The instinct.
Yeah, but now it's because of that. They're confused. They don't know what to do. They can't suck properly because they're high as shit.
Yeah.
And, like, that's, like,
it's
satanic.
really sad.
It's, like, really, it's gross. It's...
Because you're, like, taking away the bond, like, literal... The most precious bond that you can have in your whole life.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. It's that moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like an extremely spiritual moment and experience.
Yeah.
And they just want to drug you so that you don't remember, so that you don't have a good experience in the end. Because my first child, I had the heroin, but I didn't have the epidural, but I had the heroin because... they pressure it onto you. They're like, you'll be more calm. I wasn't more calm. I was tripping balls. Like, it was weird.
Yeah, of course.
Why am I tripping balls while I'm in labor? You know what I mean?
But the thing is that you can't control yourself.
No, exactly. You're not yourself. You're not there.
You're not yourself anymore.
No.
Yeah, gosh. Yeah.
So the midwives, they don't have any of that, basically.
No, yeah, of course.
It's natural. They often give a lot. I know a lot of women who go to midwives give birth in the water.
Yeah,
They're like the
at
water
home.
birth.
Yeah.
Or at home.
At home.
Yeah.
And in water, you can have like a baby pool.
Yeah. At the midwife places, like here where we have a midwife place, they have a like big jacuzzi style.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's big. You can have your whole family in it.
Nice.
I mean, that's kind of weird, but like some people like that.
What? Come on. It's like the best thing.
Having your whole family.
But actually, like women, when I read the book from Marie Cachet, like she explained how women, they seclude themselves from everybody else to have birth. Yeah. So it's a very natural process for women to just, bury themselves in the sand and just have labor there and have no one else watch, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So right now, what we're doing is having babies in institutions where there's seveal people around
that you don't know. That's what's
it's
weird.
Yeah, it's awkward. It feels wrong.
It does feel like. I mean, you feel taken care of to a certain extent because you believe in the authority, but then you have a negative experience, and I've heard really bad experiences from people whose just of abuse, general different forms of they didn't consent to things and they had to do it anyway, and things like that, which makes you lose faith in the institution.
But yeah, I was reading about cesareans, actually, and I found out this very good article from a really good source from Canada. Actually, it was written by the government. And it actually says that the effects of a cesarean is very it's not good for the milking afterwards when you're milking your child. It takes away everything that you have. Basically, all the nutrients in your body are like taking care of that wound that you have at your stomach. So they actually give the baby formulas to really, really small infants that have just come out of the womb. The wound, yeah.
Yeah, hey, that's interesting. Yeah.
It's an actual wound, right? And the energy that's just spent on, taking back that, just it's crazy. They cut through a lot of layers. To get to that baby.
Your body, the uterus itself,
so the placenta and everything is just so like crazy. And then, well, first of all, that woman should have not given birth.
Yeah, of course.
Because anyway,
you're dooming your female children for the same fate.
Yeah. Because your children won't be able. Yeah, your child, if it is a girl, she won't be able to give birth at all.
Well, unless she gets cesarean. And if she hits the fan and there's no one to do the cesarean, she's gonna die. With the child with her.
Exactly. So anyway, it affects the milk. Because of the recovery time, and it affects the quantity and the quality of the milk. So you can imagine there's a lot of kids that are born with on cesareans these days.
Yeah.
So at a very early age, they're just like the nutrition isn't there at all.
Yeah.
Of course they're gonna become zombies and like really not. They won't be there. They're just like cattle, zombies for the corporation after that.
Yeah, human cattle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the colostrum, is really important when you first give birth, the first milk.
Exactly, yeah.
And then if you can't get that, and if it's lacking, if it's deficient, that's definitely going to affect. And of course, infant formula is like the deadest, ash-filled crap you can get out there.
So I have the effects of baby formula. Are you ready?
Let's go. Yeah, I'm ready.
There's a lot. Risk of asthma, diabetes at a very young age. That's normal. Reduce cognitive development. So they have very poor eyesight. Risk of allergies. So yeah, that's why all the kids are allergic to everything these days. Infection of contaminated formula, because there are contaminated formula.
Yes, actually there was a huge case in China that they found out that they were putting like really toxic additives in baby formula, and the babies developed kidney stones. Like, how disgusting is that?
It is, yeah. Nutrient deficiencies, of course. That's very important. Bottle sucking occlusions of mouth and teeth defects.
Yeah, of course.
So they won't get a proper mouth development and teeth. And childhood cancers.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Those are, and there was at least 15. Those are just the ones that I wrote down.
Whoa, those are like the most hardcore ones?
Yeah.
Jeebus, my gosh.
Yeah.
And we passed this off as normal, and I remember there was this boomer woman I was talking to recently who said, well, when I was having my kids, it was really popular to breastfeed, but I didn't want to. I just didn't want to. I chose to do the infant formula, and some some people back then they thought that I was crazy, but that was my choice. Freaking boomers.
But you know why we do formulas? Because there's not enough people that are around us that have other kids. Because if a female would have trouble giving milk to her child, there would be another woman that had children as well who could lactate and give milk to that child who needed it. You can
definitely have, if you lactate well, you can have twins, so you can have another baby at your boob.
Because there's less and less women having babies and less people having friends and actual friendships.
Yeah.
It's becoming hard for us to like exchange that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's becoming kind of weird. Like people talk about like, oh, like I would breastfeed your baby if you had a problem, and they're like, whoa, that's bizarre.
Oh,
what are you eating? What are you taking? It's like,
but
nothing.
It's because we don't have these connections anymore.
Yeah.
Like women aren't connected to that female birthing, we did have that before. We did have, a place where we could breastfeed together.
Yeah, and the baby can have, like, even though it's not its mother, the baby can have a relationship that's natural, sucking the other woman's breast, but still having the warmth and the comfort of the woman. And, and the woman can, I think it can help the woman bond with the child just in a way that's like, hey, this is not my child, but we're part of a tribe.
Yeah, so I'm going to take care of...
Yeah, and then maybe women can have better relationships with other people's children.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in this time, it's difficult for some women to like other people's children, because it's true. It's I don't like your kid.
Yeah.
Because your kid's crazy.
Women are afraid of children these days.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And so I think that would help with that as well.
Which makes it even worse for them, because then when they're going to have children, they don't know what to do with them. And that makes bad parenting.
Yeah.
Because they haven't had the choice of actually living with people that have, or visiting people that have children. And that's why they don't know how to like take care of children.
Yeah, it's true. And also concerning the infant formula, nowadays the infant formula is really bad, and you can get soy infant formula as well, which is terrible.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and supposedly I went to an osteopath, and she said that a woman brought her baby to her. She was super open about it. She said that her baby was green, had a green tint to the skin, because the mother was enforcing the baby to have soy infant formula. And even there, now our infant formula is a certain way, but before infant formula was popular, in the 50s, they used to give kids raw milk with corn syrup. Yeah. That was the formula of back then.
Yeah.
But raw milk is already way better. Than infant formula.
Take away the corn syrup, but raw milk is pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Of another animal.
Yeah.
And
it's goat milk that's the best.
Yeah, that's what they used to give, I think, in like other times. But then
in the northern Scandinavian countries, they used to give goat milk. Yeah.
Yeah, Bavaria.
It's very fat and very fattening, and
and it tastes a bit like, not that I really know what breast milk tastes like, but no, but it has a quality of, like, when you taste it, that it's like it's really special. It tastes natural in a sense.
Well, yeah, because it's animal product.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I was this theory that women are shaped differently in cities and in the countryside.
Yeah.
So a lot of women in the cities, they're very thin, very like bone brittle, little women that they don't really, unless you're like a gym enthusiast, and that's just,
and even there,
you're not really. But and then in the countryside, women tend to be fit and fatter, but fit, healthy, a little bit fat, really rounded hips, and like you know that this woman has had children before, and she will have children also in the future, but and then that goes with as well as the children being breastfed for a longer period of time. And that can affect as well the way that people are shaped in the future, how their bones are formed, the way that they also work manually a lot of the times.
Yeah.
People from the country are more like bone dense, you know, they have big bones and they work hard and they're muscular and healthy.
Yeah.
And people from the city, they tend to be like small and all like, you know, like the more scholarly type of people.
Yeah.
You know, that don't really do much exercise. They take the train a lot. They don't walk that much.
Yeah.
Which is really, really something, because sometimes when back in Toronto, I would see people walking in the street with barely any clothes on, and they would freeze all the time. And
they're
just like, you know, complain, like non-stop complain about the cold that they had. And then every time I would think like, man, these people would die, like where we come from.
Yeah, they would, and it's really because they don't even have any animal fat on them. Because if they had a little bit of insulation,
they would feel warm.
They feel a little bit warmer, like a few degrees warmer. But they're just bone and skin, and they're wondering why they're freezing cold. And they're wearing like a parka, and it's like 10 degrees outside.
And like Adidas shoes on.
Yeah, they dress really poorly.
In the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was just getting to the thing about the birthing, like the birth, about, you know, the C-section part was the first part, but then the natural birth, how many benefits you can get from it as well. You know, babies have to come out of the vaginal canal.
Yeah.
To get the like all the what is it that it gives the child the bacteria it needs and the resistance to because they get good gut flora
yes, they do. It's
from
true.
being birthed through the vaginal canal.
Yeah.
And babies that haven't had that have really big problems, digestive problems. They're, like allergic to a lot of things. They can't eat certain things because they just can't process it, you know, a real baby would, you know.
Yeah. A real baby.
I mean, the thing is, right? A lot of babies are born which shouldn't have been born these days.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, it's up to them, because to me it's like if you want to have a C-section, it's difficult because it's like we're kind of stuck at this point, because no one's going to be like, no, I'm going to just let my baby die after giving 9 months of pregnancy. Yeah. No, you want your baby, you want it to be healthy, well, to live, but you're kind of dooming your genetic line.
But at the same time, these women that are not made to have babies, right? Are having babies. And in the past, right? Just go back a few hundred years, right?
Yeah.
These women were not necessarily groomed upon by men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They wouldn't go near them. They would be like, oh, she's so boyish. She has no hips.
She's not going to give me children.
She's not going to give me strong children.
Yeah.
She's not going to be a good mother. Blah, blah, blah. The list goes on, right?
Yeah.
Today, these characteristics are just the ones that people are looking for. And I don't know if that's also on the global agenda, is that they're trying to like twist our way of seeing people, of our instincts are changing as well, that's a freaky thing, man.
Yeah, Christianity...
They're actually twisting our instincts to the point that we are, wanting to have children with people that were not made to have children with.
Oh, definitely. And Christianity tells us that all of your natural instincts are wrong. And I've had Christians tell me that.
Yeah.
Like, they're all wrong. Like, everything, every first instinct for everything is a wrong. It's wrong and should be controlled and changed. And you know how scary that is? That's terrifying. And Christians, they think that you can have this perfect world because of the weird civilization, city kind of living that we're having.
But Christianity has come up from the cities.
Yeah. It can only exist in the city.
In the city,
yeah. Because they recruit from the slums anyway. They recruit prostitutes and the homeless. You know what I mean? They recruit fallen people because of the city. If they wouldn't be able to recruit anyone in the real world because everyone would be like, what do I need saving from? Myself? That's dumb.
Yeah, well, even in countries such as Saudi Arabia, you know, like more of the Abrahamic type religions, people from the country, they don't think like the religion wants them to think.
Yeah. You think like the ruralites?
The rural,
in like the Arab countries.
They don't think like
they're not like
the ones.
high indoctrinated.
Yeah. They're happy to see you. They're the ones that are, you know, like I've heard of stories that Survive the Jive has talked about, that he went to India, he went to Pakistan, he's seen like people from rural areas that are very nice people, and like they want to share things, they want to like talk, they want to share their meal with him and his girlfriend, which didn't have like a scarf on her head. Yeah. You know, and they don't give a shit, you know? You know what I mean? Like it's not as bad as in the cities, and the cities are the problem.
God, the cities are the problem.
Because human behavior is
it's
kind of a curse. It is kind of a curse because human behavior makes people follow trends. Yeah. And the trend is the problem. Yep. And now that the trend is, you know, being vegan or being
auto-domestication agenda.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the follow this guy, you know, and it's all about the Abrahamic it's all comes back to the Abrahamic style, you know, this person, we have to follow him. Like, I don't care about my life, I have to follow this guy because he's the real deal. Yeah. No, you have to think about your life and your children and the children that comes after that. Yeah. You don't follow what one guy has to say.
And that's super Abrahamic, to have this one guy that everyone's following. Like, it was Noam Chomsky at one point. Now it's Jordan Peterson, who's the like major gatekeeper for Semitism and Abrahamism. Yeah, I was watching what is that movie called? Damn it! It's like the bird. She's a girl. She's like in this contest where they have to kill each other. Oh gosh, Battle Royale. No, it's based on Battle Royale. What is it called? Game of Thrones. This is how much we watch TV and movies. The bird thing, dome game thing, archer chick game, contest. Catching Fire is the name of the second book. Mockingjay is the name of the Hunger Games. Hunger Games. Fuck, we're like fucking grandmas. You know that chick that has the bow and arrow and kills everybody? It kills people. I don't know why you youth watch this crap. Go out and work. Go and milk your cow. Oh my god, yeah. So basically, she's the one that everybody follows in the movie. Oh, really? And I just got so disgusted by it. I just stopped watching it. I started watching my movie of the year that I watched, and I was like, oh my god, this is so boring, can we stop watching it? Was Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, man. I tried to watch that movie. Okay? I watched it anyways. Yeah. I tried to watch it. Like, we were watching it, and I was like, 20 minutes in the movie, I was like, I'm bored. This is boring. And then I was like, okay, it's going to pick up. And it never picked up. And it was just boring. And
the second one was really long, yeah.
We actually turned it off. And the last movie I watched at the theater that I was like, this is just propaganda as a movie. It was...
Did you walk out?
No, we watched it all, but I was bored as hell. It was The Last Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I didn't like it as well.
Oh my god,
it was the white general that's super
It's basically
racist.
Nazism and communism together.
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
women, and it's all about
But,
race purity.
The thing that I didn't like about this movie is that they portray the monkeys as black people, and I was like, that's the most racist thing I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Black people should be offended that they are compared to apes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And also Jews. They call concentration camps thing.
But I was thinking more on a black perspective. You know what I mean? This is so offensive.
Yeah, they do that all the time.
So mad.
Yeah, I know. It's whites, and then it's whites are supposed to be the oppressors of who? Well,
yeah,
black
but in America, it's black people.
Yeah, basically.
But why would you? A racist would make that decision of saying. Yeah, let's make monkeys look like black people.
Yeah,
in jail.
Yeah.
With chains on their ankles.
Yeah,
and their
martyr.
wrists.
Yeah, and there's a lot of there's so much Christian symbolism.
I know.
Really.
I know.
It was just propaganda the whole time.
The whole time, yeah.
The whole time it was just propaganda. It's a propaganda
I hated
movie.
that movie.
And God, it was the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone red-pilled on my Facebook was like, holy goddamn propaganda. And I was like, right? And then I heard some people being like, I thought it was really good. And I was like, yeah, that's because you're blue-pilled and PC.
You're brainwashed.
Yeah, you don't even see how this is programming you to believe things.
If you don't get offended by the way that they portrayed the white people in this movie, you should, kill yourself.
I never expect you to be so hardcore, and then you say hardcore things, and I'm like, holy shit. I know. Oh gosh.
Oh man. Do you have something to add, or?
No, I think we talked a lot about things. It's almost been an hour.
Oh wow.
So yeah, no, that was really, really interesting
fun,
and really fun. Yeah, and we'll definitely do this again.
Oh yeah.
So so everyone, thank you for tuning in to Geiger Counter, and I hope that you have a very nice day.
Bye.